Hi, Grade 6. Let's talk today about the last unit in the second term, which is called Structure and Function of Living Organisms. This unit is only one lesson. This lesson is called Absorption and Transmission of the water and mineral salts in the plants. Let's start our lesson today. Do you know what is the structure of the plant? Any plant consists of two systems. System above the soil is called shoot system, and system below or under the soil or inside the soil, which is called root system. Shoot system consists of stem and leaves, and root system consists of root. And today you will know that there are root hairs extending from the roots. So any plant consists of shoot system and root system. Shoot system consists of leaves and stem. Root system consists of roots and root hairs. Root system and shoot system participate together in making the plant food by photosynthesis process. Of course, you know this process. The photosynthesis process in which the plant leaves absorb the carbon dioxide from the air, and the roots and root hairs absorb the water and the mineral salts such as phosphorus, magnesium, calcium, nitrogen, and zinc from the soil. And also the plant leaves absorb the light energy from the sun. The photosynthesis process produces plant food which is formed inside the leaves, and also produce oxygen gas which is very necessary for the respiration of all the living organisms. So, carbon dioxide plus water and mineral salts plus the light energy by the photosynthesis process forming oxygen and the plant food. The absorption of the water and the mineral salts from the soil occurs by roots, and the transmission of the water and the mineral salts from the roots to the other parts of the plant occurs by the stem. First, let's talk about the absorption of the water and the mineral salts. If we are talking about the root system, by examining the ready-made slide of cross-section of a plant root and look at this slide under the microscope, we can notice that, number one, there are a lot of layers inside the root. Not only one layer or two layers, no. The root is composed of a number of layers. What are these layers? Number one, epidermis layer is the external thin layer that has the root hairs extended from its cells. Number two, cortex layer. Cortex layer. It's a thick layer that follows the epidermis layer. Number three, endodermis layer. It follows the cortex layer. Number four, xylem or wood layer. It follows the endodermis layer. And finally, number five, pith layer is the last layer that follows the xylem layer. So I have here 5 layers: epidermis layer, cortex layer, endodermis layer, xylem layer, base layer. So if you have a slide of cross section of a plant root, you will find number of layers: epidermis layer, cortex layer, endodermis layer, xylem layer, and then the last one, base layer. Okay, let's talk about the root. Of course, you know that the root, it's branched and extended through the soil particles, and the function of the roots to allow fixing the plant in the soil and absorbing water and mineral salts from the soil. So the roots they are branched and extended through the soil particles to allow fixing the plant in the soil and absorbing water and mineral salts from the soil. Give reason. Root system is very, very important for the plant. Of course, because the root system fixes the plant in the soil, and also it absorbs water and mineral salts needed for the plant from the soil. What about the root hair or capillary? The root hair extends from the epidermis cells of the root, as we said before, from the epidermis layer. The root hair has a big vacuole from inside that contains salt solution. Again, the root hair extends from the epidermis cells of the root, and it has a big vacuole inside it that contains salt solution. The suitability of the root hair for absorption of water and mineral salts. Number 1, its cell membrane has selective permeability. The root hair, its cell membrane has a function, or it has a property which is called selective permeability. What the meaning of selective permeability? Selective permeability means that it allows some types of salts to pass according to the plant's needs. So, give reason why the root hair, its cell membrane has selective permeability. The answer, to allow some types of salts to pass according to the plant's needs. Something else, the concentration of the salt solution inside its vacuole is higher than that in the soil. Why? To help the water to be transported from the soil to the root hairs by process is called osmosis process. It's a new word, I know, osmosis process. It is the process by which the water is transported from the soil to the root hairs. So, selective permeability, it's a process by which the cell membrane of the root hair allows some types of salts to pass according to the plant's need. Not all the salts, some types of salts only they are bathing according to the plant's need. What about the osmosis? The osmosis process, it is the transmission of the water molecule through semi-permeable membrane from an area with high concentration of water to an area with low concentration of water. So when I'm talking about the salts or the transmission of the salts from the soil to the root hair, so I'm talking here about selective permeability. When I'm talking about transmission of the water from the soil to the root hair, so I'm talking about osmosis. Okay. You must know that the high concentration of salt solution means that it contains a small amount of water. So what the meaning of high concentration of salt solution means? That it contains a small amount of water. So this solution has a low concentration of water. Now, if the low concentration of salt solution means that it contains a big amount of water. So this solution has a high concentration of water. Okay, let's now talk about the transmission of water and dissolved mineral salts from the roots to the other parts of the plant to make its food. We talked about how the mineral salts and the water transported from the soil to the root hair. Now, the root hair or the roots contain the mineral salts and the water. The transmission of the water from the soil to the vacuole of the root hair occur by osmosis process, while the mineral salt transmitted from the soil by selective permeability, as we said before. What's happened after that? Water and dissolved mineral salts are absorbed through the root hairs in the epidermis layer of the root. Then they are transmitted to the endodermis layer, which regulates the passage of the water to the xylem. Then xylem layer rises, or the wood tissue, the xylem tissue, rises them to the stem and the other parts of the plant as leaves and flowers. But after reaching the water and mineral salts, all the parts of the plant must get rid of the excess water through holes called stomata by a process called transpiration process. What is the transpiration process? It's a vital or very important process by which the plant loses excessive water in the form of water vapor. Get rid of the excess of water in the form of water vapor through stomata, which is spread on the two surfaces of the leaf and other green parts to the surrounding environment of the plant. Okay, so the location of the stomata spread on the two surfaces of the leaf. Let's talk in details about the stomata. Stomata, they are tiny holes, very, very small holes, spread on the two surfaces of the plant leaves and other green parts through which the plants get rid of the excess water. And stomata widely spread on the lower surface of the plant leaves, more than the upper surface. Only one is called stoma. More than one are called stomata. Each stoma is surrounded by two guard cells. The function of the two guard cells control the opening and the closing of the stoma by changing their shapes. So the stoma may be closed stoma, may be open stoma, according to the two guard cells, which change their shape to open and close the stoma. So, the function of the two guard cells control the opening and closing of the stoma by changing their shapes. Let's talk about the role of transpiration process in raising the water and dissolved mineral salts to upwards. Of course, you know that the direction of transportation of the water and the mineral salts inside the plant is upward, from the soil upward to the stem. Number one, absorption of the water and dissolved salts from the soil through the root hairs, okay? Number two, transportation of the water and dissolved salts to all the parts of the plant through xylem. Number three, exit the water from stomata during transpiration process, acting on pulling water to upwards. Okay, we finished our lesson today. Listen to the video again another time. Try to study this lesson well. I hope you understand it. And I'd like you to try to answer worksheet number 7 by yourself. Goodbye.